The Nissan Pathfinder has been around for 35 years, and this is the 5th generation with a lot of changes both inside and out, including the powertrain, and it even looks different, and we're going to take it for a ride. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren Fix. This is the 2022 Nissan Pathfinder, and after 35 years, we're now seeing the 5th generation of this vehicle, and it's pretty impressive. Both inside and out, there are some changes. There is one engine option, and there are 2 different driveline choices, and we're going to cover that in 10 different categories. We're going to cover performance, handling, safety, visibility, seating, technology, features. We'll talk about the new design, the quality, the cargo space, value, and in the end, we will give you a Car Coach Reports total. Now, we have driven all the competitors. It's listed down below in the description, and there are links to those reviews so you can do all your homework at Car Coach Reports. It's available in English and Spanish, and we have a lot of contributors, so you're not just getting my opinion, you're getting others, because when you go into the dealership, they're going to try and sell you on the vehicle. That's their job. We're going to give you information so you have car smarts. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click that little bell because you don't want to miss anything. There's a lot of new stuff coming out for Nissan, including the Frontier and a lot of other vehicles, and we'll be at those drive events, and we will give you information on these vehicles before the dealer gets them in many cases. And if you're looking at this later, it's good to have this information, especially if you're buying this used down the road. Let's start off with under the hood. Under the hood of every 2022 Pathfinder is a 3.5-liter direct-injected V6 engine with 284 horsepower and 259 pound-feet of torque. It has an all-new 9-speed transmission, which has a smooth and direct response. 0 to 60, we will be in the sport mode. There's also an eco and a normal mode. Here we go. Weight transferring. Shift point's about 6,000 RPM, 0 to 60, 6.7 seconds. It doesn't feel inspiring, not that it should be. It is not a race car. It is a street car. It is a daily driver SUV that has a towing capacity of 3,500 pounds. If you buy the towing package, however, you get a towing capacity of up to 6,000 pounds, which is the top of the category. The one thing to notice about performance of any vehicle is when you're driving at the normal speed limit and you need to make a pass, you want to be able to put your foot in it and get around that person or avoid an accident or get on an on-ramp, and that this vehicle has. Good sized motor. It does have a little bit of a lag when you put your foot into it. Part of that is the programming because of the transmission. The transmission is a 9-speed automatic, and it does have pretty good response. There is a little bit of a drag between the moment that you step on the gas pedal and it responds. And this is drive-by-wire, so there's no more cables on an accelerator like there used to be. Fuel economy is 23 miles to the gallon combined. Again, it all depends if you're driving it in the sport mode or you drop into the eco mode where you're going to get your best fuel economy. For economical, some people have asked. Auto is a nice combination. There's also a snow mode and a tow mode. So depending upon what mode you're in, there's also a mud and rut and a sand mode. So if you are going to off-road this, maybe going to camping site, a little bit of off-roading, you're going somewhere, you will not have a problem. You could take this to the beach and you'll be fine. Overall, when you're looking at the performance of this vehicle, especially in this very, very aggressive category, it earns an 8. The one thing about the handling for this vehicle is it seems very composed, very put together and well thought out. And I think that's really important. Not just on your daily drive, which we do drive these for about a week, so we do get some daily driving on it, but it also is really easy to park as well, and there's a lot of safety features, we'll talk about that next, that do assist in making it a safer and really well handling vehicle. One thing I really like about this vehicle is how quiet it is. Listen, you could hear a pin drop. It is so quiet in this car. If you don't have the fan going, which is a little loud, you can hear that. It's a little hot out, Tate. It's in the 90s. But without the fan, this is such a quiet vehicle. Very little road noise, which I really, really appreciate because there are other cars in this category, such as its cousin, the Mitsubishi Outlander, which we also have reviewed. You can check that out up here. That's a less expensive car, and it has a lot of the same technology because they are sharing some of the platform and some of the technology. So the underpinnings are pretty similar. As I was saying, there are different drive modes, and that does change some of the shift points on this vehicle, and that's really important to note because depending upon what your conditions are, you want to make sure that this vehicle can handle those conditions, and that it does. The brakes are excellent, firm, and responsive. The Pathfinder is available in 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. Our test vehicle is a 4-wheel drive. It is the SL trim level, and it is loaded because that's how they give us vehicles, so you can see all the possible options that might meet your needs. Depending upon which trim level you purchase, you can get 18-inch or 20-inch alloy wheels, and they are really nice looking on this SL, and we'll cover that in design because there are a lot of changes to this vehicle versus the predecessor. One of the things that this vehicle does offer, it is one of the most comfortable vehicles in the class. Really good ride as far as just absorbs a lot of this uneven road surfaces that we have here on the New York State roadways. Overall, when you're looking at the handling of this vehicle, it earns an 8. Safety is a critical part of performance and handling because 80% of your driving decisions are based on visibility, and that's why Nissan has made standard their Safety Shield 360. It does include most of the features that people want. There are some extras, and I gotta ding them for that because things like rear cross traffic alert, that's something that should be standard. When you're driving an SUV, a lot of times you can't see what's on the ground behind you, even with a backup camera or an around view camera. So it's really nice to be able to have some of those things like rear cross traffic alert when you're backing out of a parking spot. Some ding dong isn't also backing out of a parking spot. It happens a lot, and those parking lot type of accidents can be very expensive because the damages between the both of you, you're both at fault. When it comes to safety, it's about performance and handling combined. 80% of your driving decisions are based on visibility. We'll cover visibility next, but safety is so important. So when you're thinking about what's included, Nissan includes the Nissan Safety Shield 360 with all of their vehicles, and that's important. However, there are some extras that I kind of wish were standard, and when you look at some of the competitors, they are standard. Some of the additional features include blind spot intervention. So if you're going to change lanes, it'll push you back so that you don't hit the car that's hiding in that blind spot. Intelligent lane intervention. Again, if you're shifting lanes, it'll help push you back. Sometimes you don't see the car next to you. That does happen as well. There are a few other safety features that I wish were standard, although a lot of these safety features are right here in the center screen. You can turn them on and off, set them up the way you want, and that information is also directly in front of you in front of the 2 gauges. When you're looking at safety for this vehicle, it earns a 9. When it comes to visibility, obviously you can adjust the seat, but it's really important to be able to see out the front, and that they've done. Huge piece of glass as part of the redesign. The sills are a bit high, but that only limits a little bit, as you can see back here in the back seat. So if you're in a child safety seat, you may not be able to see out as easily as you would like. One thing that Nissan has done is made the pillars smaller. They're still quite large, and there are some visibility issues, and that's why there is a backup camera. When you put the vehicle in reverse, you get an around view camera as well as a 180-degree backup camera, and one of the safety features they have is a backup intervention. So if you're backing up, you don't see something, this vehicle intervenes, and that is part of safety. When you're looking at visibility as a whole for this new Pathfinder, it earns a 9. When you're looking at seating, especially in a 3-row SUV, you want to make sure you have these adjustable height seat belts, and that's important so you don't have that seat belt cutting your neck. In addition, this seat needs to be comfortable for you. Now, we're all built differently, so make sure you sit in the driver's seat and the passenger seat and even the back seat if you think that's where you might be at some point. It's really important that if you have children, bring your child safety seats. There are 2 in this captain's chairs. There's also a 3rd-row bench, which is optional, and in the back there is no child safety seat. So this will seat up to 8 people, 7 with the captain's chair, which is the configuration that we have here in our SL trim level. Now, some of the things that are important to note is there is no lumbar on the passenger side. The driver's side has 2-way lumbar and additional adjustments. Our test vehicle has 3-row heated seats. Optional air-cooled seats is not on our vehicle, although it probably could use it because here in this 90-degree temperature on these vinyl or pleather seats, as I call them, plastic leather, it is a little bit sticky. So you might want to look at a cloth option instead if you don't get the air-cooled seats. Let's take a look at the 2nd and 3rd row and we'll give it a rating. Here in the 2nd row, there is a lot of room. I set the seat for me and I'm 5'8", just to give you some sort of baseline. There is a ton of room here. Rarely do you find a 3-row SUV that has this type of space. So I give them a lot of credit for that. In addition, you've got the center console because these are the captain's chairs and the adjustable armrests. In front of you, you have the center console that has 3-stage heated seats, a 3rd climate control adjustment, USB and USB-C adjustments. There are 2 captain's chairs in the back and tons of legroom, and these move forward and back, which is good for giving someone in the 3rd row some space. You press a button and these easy slide seats fold right up. Be careful with little kids. You don't want them to get hit by the seat, But there's also this center console, which is removable. It has 2 cup holders and a big deep well, sort of like a glove box, but with no lid. So this is really nice for getting the kids to have what they need, put their stuff and store it behind the driver's and passenger seat. There is storage in the door, 2 cup holders on each side. That's really unusual to have 2 cup holders in the door, window lifts, and the manual shades. Let's take a look at the third row. There is room for 3 people back here. It is very tight. There's also another button on the back of each of these seats that allow you to put the seat forward. So if these seats are moved forward, there's plenty of legroom. That would give more legroom for the third row. So if we're going on a short trip, you'd be fine. If someone's much taller in these 2 seats, it's gonna be really tight. There is vents back here, which is great. 2 more cup holders on each side, which is excellent, as well as more ventilation. They really thought about who's using this vehicle and how to access the third row. The worst thing you can do is try to get your children to crawl over these seats. That is not the design. Even though these armrests fold up, still you don't want your kids crawling between. The only reason this vehicle didn't get a high rating on seating is there's no lumbar on the passenger side. The seat bottoms are flat and there's not a lot of lateral support across your torso. Again, we're all built differently. It's important you sit in this car. It might be perfect for you and it might also be uncomfortable. And that's why I gave it a score of 6. The new Pathfinder is loaded with technology, but none of it stands out in the class. They did a lot of nice work with coming in with the center screen and some of the changes on these menus. Available is a 10.8-inch head-up display with a 12.3-inch customizable digital dashboard, and that's on the upper trim levels. Pro Pilot Assist includes the NaviLink 9-inch touchscreen and the Pro Pilot Assist. Apple CarPlay Android Auto is standard. Also available in the Nissan Connect is a Wi-Fi hotspot, a wireless smartphone charging pad, wireless Apple CarPlay, Bose Premium Audio with 13 speakers, and that's available on the top technology package. The center screen on our test vehicle has the Bose audio system, which is really nice quality. Of course, Sirius XM, and of course, AM audio, FM is also there. Bluetooth audio, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Your navigation system is right here. It's pretty clear and it's up to date, and the response time is very good and equivalent to that of its competitors. This is the backup camera, which is part of technology. It is a pretty crystal clear camera. In addition, it also is part of when you put the vehicle in reverse, and that was part of visibility. In the menu settings, you can adjust how you want the screen to look in front of you. With all this information, you can choose what information is important to you and then adjust accordingly. In addition, part of the Nissan Connected Services is all of this great information that people want to use. Parking, fuel prices, hey, if you're into the stocks, what's going on, weather, traffic, and so forth. And it's good to have this available to you when you need it at the touch of a button. Overall, for technology, it earns an 8. For features, this Nissan steering wheel is all new with a flat bottom, which I do appreciate. On the left side is your controller for adjusting the screen between the gauges. And on the right side is your cruise control, and that adjusts your safety shield. When you press that safety shield button, it brings up the screen in front of you and you can make your adjustments accordingly. On the left side of the steering wheel, you've got your vents, the ability to open your tailgate, as well as shutting off one of the safety features, which is the lane centering. There is no memory seating on our vehicle, although we do have regular adjustments on the windows and the doors. Over to your center screen, you've got what we discussed in technology. Climate control is just below that with vents, start-stop button, wireless charging, charging ports, and this new Nissan shifter, which is nice, easy to use. It's in park right now, so I can do that. And you've got the parking brake, the auto hold. This is the auto off, which I prefer off. Your 2 cup holders. And then further back, you've got the adjustments we covered in handling, which adjust based on the mode and what you need. Further back on the glove box, you've got Pathfinder to remind you what you're driving. Inside the glove box is more storage, and there is tons of it in this vehicle. In the door, you also have more cup holders and more storage, as well as some really creative storage underneath where the airbag goes. The storage underneath the center console is great, really well thought out, and how people use it every day. There is a large panoramic roof, not as large as some of the competitors, but overall, when you're looking at all the features in this car from all 3 rows, this vehicle earns an 8 for features. The design is bold and rugged with this all-new design. It's modern looking, and this Pathfinder needed a facelift. The front face has a wide stance, blistered fenders, and shorter front overhang. The functional V-motion grille with the signature C-shaped headlights really make this vehicle stand out in the crowd. Standard LED headlights and slim upper daytime running lights are standard on all Pathfinders. In the rear, LED headlights are wide and slimmer, and the rear liftgate is bolder and more modern in effect. When you're looking at the bold new design of the Pathfinder, this logo is not too much in your face, and I do appreciate that because a lot of the manufacturers have the biggest logo they can jam on the front of their car. Nissan didn't want to do that. They wanted it more classy and more modern, but yet a very rugged look, and that it has accomplished. You've got this V shape here, which is on all of the other Pathfinders, and that's chrome in this case, and it's done that way to make all of the vehicles look like they're part of the same family. Further down, you have a functional grille, and it's matte. And the reason that it's matte is if it gets bugs on it, it won't be as obvious as the shiny part that's up top. You've got driving lights here, daytime running lights, and LED headlights are standard. The hood is a little bit more muscular, and you can see by the overall look of this vehicle that it's meant to be a family adventure vehicle. Standard is 18-inch alloy wheels. Our test vehicle has the 20-inch wheels, and I really like this pewter gray looking wheel. Very classy, and the Nissan logo is in the middle, and because it's white, it just tops it off, making it look really nice. I think they did a nice job with the design, and I do like that they have the wheel arches done up in a more rugged look as well. Going further back, you're going to notice these bigger, more aggressive fenders, and then the integrated mirrors, nicely done. Black gloss on top with a roof rack because this is a family adventure vehicle. That's what it was designed for. Down low, you've got this lower splitter. It says Pathfinder embossed in it. I think they did a nice job. It's very classy. It's not overdone, but it also tells others that you purchased a Pathfinder. Further back, you can see that this gray in this particular vehicle, or whatever body color you have, goes up into between the second and third piece of glass. This is called a B pillar, and this is the C pillar. And so when you're looking at the B pillar being wide and the C pillar being a little narrower, it was meant for visibility, but it also gave her a clean look, and these very muscular rear fenders is part of that new design. Coming around to the back, you've got your LED wide taillights. These are new, they're smaller, but they're really bright and they're nice. Nissan logo again. Coming around to this side, Pathfinder is matte, and it's really nice. It actually has a Land Rover kind of look to it, the fact that it's spaced out so widely apart. But I think it looks nice. It looks clean and it looks modern, and that was needed. You've got your upper wing here, but I kind of wish this wiper blade, and I do nail a lot of the manufacturers on this, tuck it up underneath. There's tons of extra space, and it makes it cleaner and it makes the blade last longer, and anything that keeps this whole backside clear makes it look more modern and updated. Going further down, you've got your marker lights and your towing package. In this case, we have a Class 3 towing package, which again is 6,000 pound towing capacity, which is up there at the top with the other competitors. This is an all-wheel drive and an SL, and remember, this is also available in front-wheel drive. But the overall rear look of this vehicle is much improved, and for design, this vehicle earns a 9. When you're looking at the quality of this Pathfinder, it is much improved over the outgoing model. You're finding a lot of soft touch surfaces on the inside and a lot of premium materials and some high-end brands. They've really done an impressive job, not just with the paint quality and the color choices and the panel gaps, but just they really thought about all the different features and who's using it. And for that, they have definitely got to step up. There is a 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty and a powertrain of 5 years, 60,000 miles. That 3-year, 36,000 mile roadside assistance is included, but there is no maintenance included. Some brands may offer that, some don't, and some dealerships may offer that. So make sure to ask before you sign on the bottom line and don't pay extra for it. Really important to note. But for quality on this Pathfinder overall, it earns a 9. Coming around to the back, you've got 16.6 cubic feet of storage, and there's a little mat underneath this cargo cover is more storage, which is good. With the third row up, you can get 4 golf bags as well as a 120 quart cooler, and that is really good when you're going to a tailgating party. Fold down the third row, and now you have 45 cubic feet of storage, which is really good when you got to make those runs to Costco or BJ's. You've got storage to bring back all that toilet paper. With this second row folded, you have 80 cubic feet of storage, which means you can put a 4x8 sheet of plywood between the wheels, and most of your competitors don't have that available, and that was well thought out when it comes to storage. When you're looking at the value of this vehicle, it comes in at $33,400 for the entry-level Pathfinder. Our test vehicle is an SL and it's all-wheel drive, and it came in at $45,800. Honestly, that's a pretty good value. When you look at the competitors are listed down below, this fits right in that sweet spot, which means you've got a lot of competition to test drive before you make a decision. Of course, with the global chip shortage we're having right now here, it's going to be hard to find much, but these vehicles will be on the dealer lots very soon. If you're looking at this as a new vehicle, if you're looking at this as a vehicle down the road, you will find that there'll be plenty of them available because Nissan's going to make a lot of Pathfinders. Again, ours is the SL trim and the all-wheel drive package. Now, there are some pluses and minuses. First off, I do love the 6,000 pound towing capacity. I like the fact there's good technology in this vehicle and tons of storage and plenty of adjustments to make legroom for all the passengers that would fit in your vehicle, whether you have captain's chairs or you go with the bench seat. This is well done both inside and out. There are some negatives. The performance is a little bit lacking compared to some of the competitors. Even though its 0 to 60 time is good, fuel economy is excellent. Overall, the design of this vehicle and the quality is great. Although if you're looking at Hyundai and Kia products, you'll find a longer warranty. So it's important that you do all of your homework and check your insurance ratings before you make a final decision. When it comes to value for this vehicle, it earns an 8. The 2022 Nissan Pathfinder, our SL all-wheel drive test vehicle, has been a lot of fun to drive for a week, and we've got a chance to see some of its capabilities both on and off-road and daily driving. And the fact is, this vehicle offers a lot of value, and when you total up all 10 categories, it earns an 82. Now, I didn't cover every single little aspect of this vehicle, and I'm sure you're going to have questions, as most of you typically do. Put that in the comments down below, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions, because I want you to go into the dealership knowing what you want and being ready to purchase, whether you buy it online or you go there in person. If you got value from this video, make sure to like it and share it with your friends. Thank you for subscribing. Don't forget to check out our website, Car Coach Reports. It's in English and in Spanish with other contributors who have also test driven the Pathfinder. This is a very popular vehicle. We cover all the competitors, and we put out some new information every single day. You'll find that on our social media, on all platforms at Lauren Fix. And if you still want to hear more and you want to have fun with myself and some of our contributors, check out our podcast, Total Car Score. It's available on all platforms. I know you're going to like it, and we do appreciate you watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.